87 years of history right there in the historic Delaware Park paddock with all the beautiful, iconic trees. Lots of champions have been in there. Obeah, Royal Delta, last year Idiomatic, who was a Horse of the Year candidate when it was all said and done by the end of the year. There'll be some special fillies in there today. Wet Paint's the 3-2 favored in the Grade 2 Delaware Handicap. Honor D Lady, Saddle Up Jesse. They'll be in there. A thrilling 7-horse field in the Big Del Cap today. Of course, we have the Grade 3 Robert G. Dick Memorial, the mile and 3/8 turf contest for the filly and mares before the Del Cap. So it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm joined here with my partner, Josh Brown, who's going to have some great calls of all the races today. It's a big 10-race card. We have a bunch of pick fives and a bunch of nice horses to bet on today, Josh.
Yeah, it's a very competitive card here at Delaware Park today, and I think that with this 10-race program card, we should see a great race in the renewal of the 87th edition of the Delaware Handicap as we go live to the studio for our 10-race card today. And of course, Stan, a reminder to our fans out there, we are racing tomorrow.
That's right. We'll have the Del Oaks and all the other stake races tomorrow, so I hope you can join us tomorrow for Del Oaks Day. Glad you're with us today. It'll be a little hot, but it's cooler than yesterday. The humidity is lower. We have some cloud coverage today, so that's good. We have a great show for you today. I want to thank our entire production crew for putting everything together today. We'll try not to mess it up. They've done a lot of good work putting this show together today. The racing office has done a great job on the cards today and tomorrow. The racing secretary, Laurie Smock, and director of racing, Jed Doro, and the stakes coordinator. First year here for Mike Fettinger. He did a great job putting together all these stake races. So let's get right to it. You have you have a couple pick five tickets today. I have the early pick five ticket today. That starts in race 1. Let's check out the field here for the opener today. We're fast and firm today. Race 1's going to kick off. There's the field. You're favored 9-5 on the outside. The 7 Darvish with Jamie Rodriguez aboard. That's going to be my top pick in the opener. Let's check out the early pick 5 that starts in race 1. All the pick 5s here at Delaware Park feature that low 15% takeout. My pick 5s today, Josh, a little pricey. These are called buddy pick 5s. Grab a couple buddies together. Everybody throw 20, 30 bucks on the table and play a nice ticket like this and grab some long shots and get a big payout. So there's my ticket. I'm 4 deep in the opener with the 1, 3, 5, 7. My key horse on this early pick 5 comes in race 2. The 7 Chief Run is a Delaware Park specialist. He's a 7-time winner here at Delaware. He's won 3 in a row. So I single on the 7 Chief Run in race 2. Race 3, I'm 5 deep there with the 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. My top pick in the third is the 4 Sports Editor from the Ned Allard Barn. Race 4, that's a big field, a maiden 62.50 going short. You need a lot of coverage in there. I go with the 3, 5, 7, 8, 10. The 7 Wicked Kitten at 9-2 is my top pick there in the fourth. Then race 5, I wrap it up with the 4 and the 6. The 6 Elusive Image, I think, is going to be awfully tough today with Danny Centeno aboard. So there's my ticket. $100 play for the early pick 5 starts in race 1.
Yeah, don't forget, we do have 4 pick 5s on today's card. We have an additional on race 3, and we have an additional one on race number 5. Now, here at Delaware Park, we do have late pick 5 and early pick 5 carryovers. The caveat to that is today, race 3 and 5 are mandatory payouts. So as Stan said, get some friends together and get on in. It is not a day to play cheap tickets, I should say. It's going to be a great card. Stan says it's hot, and it is, but it's not like yesterday, which was like walking into an oven. So Stan, I'm ready if you are to get into the first race of the day.
All right, here we go. Race 1, 6 furlongs. Maiden claiming 25,000, 3 and up. I think Jamie Rodriguez is going to be tough here with the 7 Darvish from the Greg Compton barn. The blinkers go on today. Just throw out that last turf race. The horse ran a decent second 2 back at this level. You get Jamie Rodriguez today. The blinkers on hopefully will help. So I go with the favorite on top in the opener.
I don't disagree with Stan. I think the 1-horse Secret Saturday is another one that's going to be knocking on the door. And honestly, I'm a little concerned with number 3, Gampe Forte. That horse is a lone speed, but as Stan said, I think the winner's circle goes through the 7 Darvish in the 12:30 opener.
All right, let's turn the page here. Race 2 will kick off the early pick 4. We're going 6 furlongs in the second. It's a real nice second level allowance condition optional, claiming 32,000. Your morning line favorite in here, the 7 Chief Ron at 2-1 with Jose Ortiz aboard. Let's take a look at this field. And yeah, Chief Ron, he's won 3 in a row since Kieran McGee claimed this horse last March. The McGee barn hitting at almost 40% this meet, so they're locked and loaded. This horse gets a big 94 late time form rating, so I go with the 7 Chief Ron on top. He's looking for his 8th win today here at Delaware.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key in the pick 4. This horse here is a big closer. There's way too much pace in this race, Stan. And if you don't like the 6 for whatever reason, the 6
Easy Day, this horse loves to run first and second at the distance. 25 starts, 7 wins, 7 second-place finishes. But yeah, I agree with you. Jose Ortiz comes in to ride Chief Ron today. This horse is the key in my early pick 4 today.
All right, so we're both on Chief Ron there. In a second, we have a mandatory payout pick 5 that starts in race 3. It's a big field on the turf. Josh, you have a ticket for it. Let's check out Josh's pick 5 that starts in race 3.
Yeah, here's the field for race number 3, and we're going to put up the pick 5 here that I have that starts with race number 3. And of course, the main track onlys, the 3 and 8 are scratched. There's my pick 5 ticket. Originally, Stan, this ticket cost me $112. The 4th race, I think, is the toughest race to handicap. I went with 1-4 to kick it off. Race 4, I went with the 5, 7, 8, and 10. The 5th race, Stan and I are kind of all over the place, but this is a non-winner's a 2 on the turf. I hate outside post positions coming out of chute at any track in North America or Canada, and I gravitated to the outside, so I think Stan's might be onto something here. I went 6, 11, 10, 13 as I jumble the numbers. Race 6, I'm going with 1, 2, 5, 8, and race 7, I'm going to try to get out of it with a key. And again, this ticket's going to cost me $64 on this Sunday get-together.
All right, and again, it's a mandatory payout on this pick 5 that starts in race 3. We're going a mile and 16th on the turf, which is rated firm today. 0 rail setting for the turf today. A nice second level allowance condition. The 4 sports editor for Ned Allard. The Ned Allard barn having a solid meet. They have a bunch of nice horses in their barn this year. Jamie Rodriguez, the ride sports editor today. He was a good third down there at Laurel last out. Just missed. He was in front turning for home. Couldn't get the job done, but he'll be awfully tough here on where he trains here at Delaware.
Yeah, and this race here with Jamie Rodriguez getting the leg up, I mean, this horse is always knocking on the door. The horse has faded the last couple of starts, was a little bit of a concern. I thought number 1, Lincoln Hark, was an interesting horse. Raced at Monmouth last time, was out in Southern California before, but Stan, that horse hasn't won in a couple of years. And the horse that is a stone-cold closer is the 6, Regal Kingdom, but I think the mile and a 16th is too short when a horse has been usually going a mile and a half.
All right, so sports editor for Ned Allard, we both like there. In the third, let's turn the page here. Race 4 will kick off a middle pick 4. It's a big field. Maiden claiming 62.50, going 6 furlongs. A big 11-horse field here. Your 7-2 favorite on the outside. The 10 Big Bolt with Carol Sedania aboard. Let's take a look at this field. I go with the 7 on top. Wicked Kitten for Julio, my main man, Hard Riding Hernandez. He's having a big meet, and this 4-year-old filly was a good second at this level off the claim last out, so I'll put her on top. I'm a little concerned she's got to carry the whole package, 124 on the 7 Wicked Kitten, but if she can overcome that, I think she looks tough in this spot.
I don't disagree with the theory on the 7 horse or the 8 Lucky in Love. The horse, both the 7 Wicked Kitten and number 8 Lucky in Love, has had a lot of chances as a maiden. Yeah. They're in my ticket stand. I gravitated to the 5. Pedro Nazario, he's only had 2% winners out of a sample size of 49, but this horse has been bet all 4 starts. He gets a distant cut. I think he's the class of the race. But Stan, if someone could afford to press the all button, this is the race you have to do it.
It's a big field, so good luck there handicapping race 4. We have another mandatory payout that starts in race 5, a mandatory payout, pick 5. Let's check out the board for race 5. It's a big field going a mile on the turf, claiming 16,000, everyone 2 lifetime. Here's the field. Your favorites, the 6 Elusive Image with Danny Centeno aboard at 3-1. Josh, you have a ticket for this mandatory payout, pick 5. Let's check it out and see how you play it.
So this pick 5 here, I went with a 6, 10, 11, and 13. I think Elusive Image is the lone speed. I really like the 3 in here, but I just don't like the gate. We'll get more than that in race 5 in a minute. Race 6, I went with the 1, 2, 5, and 8, as mentioned on the earlier ticket. Everything on my pick 5 tickets key the 1 in race 7. In race 8, I went 1 and 9, and I think the Delaware Handicap is a contentious race. If I'm a live stand through 4 legs, I want to cover all my bases, and I'm 5 deep. With this ticket, it's going to cost you $80.
All right, so we're both looking for a little bit of a price there in the Del Cap. Let's take a look here at race 5. I like Danny Centeno on the 6, Elusive Image for owner-trainer Jason Smith. This 4-year-old, by imagining, is out of a dam. Those stakes placed on the turf, and Elusive Image has certainly found his best stride on the turf.
Yeah, and this horse is the projected lone speed. I know the 5-horse in here has a good time form rating. You know, some other database is saying the 6 is going to be the early leader. If the 6 and 5 get hooked, I'm concerned. However, Elusive Image loves the grass, rounding into form. I think the last 110 yards is going to be the concern for me. I went with the 13 Halen. Stan, this horse was the favorite last time out. For whatever reason, didn't run a step. And as a handicapper, I love to look at the odds of the previous races. So this horse came in from Gulfstream previous to that, drops in class. Again, I hate the gate. I hate outside gate positions. They cover a lot more ground coming out of the chute. And over the last 25 years here at Delaware Park, we've had 11 winners win from those outside gates. So I'm going to go with the 13, but I'm going to spread with the 11, Transcendental. Important jockey change to Jose Ortiz in that race. And the 10, Atlantis Acuna, is going to be right there knocking on the door.
All right, so big field on the turf there in race 5. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, the stakes action starts in race 6 with the Battery Park. We'll have it all covered for you right after this. Special happy birthday to our best friend down there in the racing office, Bonnie Foster. She takes care of all of us here working at Delaware Park. She helps me out, makes sure I get paid every weekend, so that's a big help. And she runs everything down there with Jed in the racing office. So happy birthday to our girl, Bonnie.
Yeah, she puts up with my shenanigans over the last 4+ years and listens to my corny jokes when I come down there. And I have never met a person, Stan, in 24 years. I've worked all across the U.S. and even Canada, and even put my toe in Mexico. And she is the absolute backbone of that racing office. So happy birthday to Bonnie. We'll give her another shout out and maybe even a close-up if she's down in the winner's circle today.
All right, let's get right to it here. Race 6 starts the stakes action. It's a $175,000 Battery Park for 3-year-olds and upward. We're going a mile and a 16th on the main track. Your lukewarm morning line favored in this race is the 1 Shafts Bullet at 4-1. Let's take a look here at this field. We have a video here for the Battery Park. This is Auto Glide. Auto Glide is going to be my top pick in here. Julian Laperoux is going to ride for Greg Compton, a big win against second-level allowance company last out.
Yeah, this horse looked pretty impressive going away at the top of the stretch here. This was, I think, our third week of racing, if I'm not mistaken. Stopped the clock just over 1 minute and 44 and change in that race stand. And this horse is going to be another one that you got to fear on today's race 6 card, which is the Battery Park.
And this race starts the late pick 5 with the low 15% takeout. I have a ticket for the late pick 5 starting with race 6, the Battery Park. Let's check it out. $100 play. I'm 5 deep here in the Battery Park. The 1, 2, 5, 6, 8. The 6 Auto Glide's my top pick. Race 7, the Dashing Beauty. I go with the 1, 2, 3, 9. The 2 Late Frost for the hot Michael Matt's barn with Jamie Rodriguez aboard at 10 to 1. My single, Billy Mott. I single on Billy Mott and the multiple grade 1 winner, the 9 Warlike Goddess and the Dick Memorial. That's a nice grade 3 on the turf. And then the Delcap, like you, Josh, I go deep there. I go 5 deep. The 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. My top pick in the Delcap today is the longest shot in the field, the 8 Abundancia from the Red Hot Juan area. Got a barn. Julio Hernandez aboard. She's 15 to 1 morning line. And then in the finale, the 4 Big Tone C is going to be tough in there. But don't forget about Jamie Rodriguez on the 6 Storm Cat Eye. So there's my late pick 5. Starts with race 6. The Battery Park. Am I crazy here with going with Auto Glide on top? He gets a big 106 late time form rating. He certainly loved it here at Delaware last out. He ran a 92 buyer speed figure. He's won 3 in a row since Compton claimed him, so it looks like a real nice claim. Stepping up in the deep water today, stepping up to a stakes company.
Yeah, this horse has been on the roll the last 5 starts. Had a blemish at Turfway on the all-weather surface back on January the 6th, but stands on the hot horse today, Auto Glide. I went with the 1 Chef's Bullet in here. This horse was 90 cents to the dollar last time out, won by 3 going away in the end. I think number 2, Magic Michael's going to be knocking on the door, and of course, you can never leave out Jamie Ness or Jamie Rodriguez. They could be entered on a broomstick, and I'd find a way to put the horse in the top 4. So I can see the 6 horse in here with Julien Lapreux getting up. I went with the 1 and 2, and I think it's going to be a very exciting 6th race here today. And as Stan mentioned, it does start the late pick 5.
Let's take a look here. Race 7 is going to kick off the late pick 4. It's the $125,000 Dashing Beauty for Philly Mares 3 and up, going 6 furlongs. Your 9 to 5 favorite on the rail, the 1 Olivia Darling with Javier Castellano aboard for Jorge Delgado. Let's take a look here at the field. Olivia Darling, she's 9 to 5. She ran a clunker last out early May down there at Churchill in a grade 1. She got beat 17 lengths down there. Here's Good Girl, Bad Habits, a big win against Allowance Company at Pimlico coming off the layoff. I think this filly is going to have a real nice 4-year-old campaign for Brittany Russell.
And I'll tell you what, Stan, if you throw out that race around, what is it, about 11 months ago when the race in the grade 1 Acorn, this horse has trounced every one of the fields. 12 lengths, 10 lengths, the one you just saw on videotape, 5 lengths. I think this horse is going to be knocking on the door, but there's a buzzsaw in here, and I think it's the 1 Olivia Darling.
All right, so that's going to be your top pick with Castellano aboard, so you're just throwing the last race out, and she gets an easier spot today.
Yeah, the reason why I threw it out, the horse was facing off in grade 1 competition, and again, as I mentioned a few moments ago, Stan, I always look at the odds of the horse in its last race. Nobody bet the horse that day. It was 21 to 1. That was back on Derby Day weekend. The horse is going to have a lot of pace in here. And there's also a lot of horses with pace. So Stan goes with the 6, I'm going with the 1, and it is going to be a firecracker of the pace here in the Dashing Beauty Stakes.
All right, so nice sprint there in race 7. Let's turn the page. Race 8, one of the co-features of the day, the grade 3 Robert G. Dick Memorial, $250,000 going a mile and 3/8 on a firm turf horse, and we have the multiple grade 1 winner in there, the 9 Warlike Goddess. She's made over $2.6 million, an 11-time winner for the Hall of Famer Billy Mott. So there's the field. A few scratches, scratch a 2, 3, and a 4. So we're going to have a 6-horse field in the Dick Memorial. Let's take a look at the field. So I have Warlike Goddess on top. I single on that 7-year-old mare on my late pick 5. Billy Mott's main go-to rider, Junior Alvarado, will be aboard. They win a lot of races together. She had a nice effort coming off the layoff. That was a grade 1 up there at Saratoga, a useful third. She's basically undefeated, I think, in grade 3 company. I don't think she'll be that far back today in this 6-horse field against grade 3 company. Or I don't think she'll be that far back early on today.
Yeah, you really can't be in a 6-horse field. If we were at 10 or 12 horses here, of course, you can kind of plot your attack from further back. This horse has been 7 lengths down, 8 lengths down. This horse stand cost only $30,000 at the sale and has earned $2.6 million. And how many times do you see on an 8-month layoff you come back to a grade 1? This is the horse to beat. I wish I would have keyed him in the pick 5 tickets. I kind of spread in that race, but Stan and I agree War Like Goddess is the one to beat. I'm kind of concerned about the number 1 horse, La Mejana. It's a French bred, and Stan, those time form ratings kind of equate to what is the Beyer speed figure in the daily racing form, and this horse almost won a grade 1 3 starts ago.
Yeah, she'll get Jose Ortiz aboard today. She'll get a ground-saving trip for Christophe Clement. Clement could have a real big day. I don't pick him on top in any races, but he's got a bunch of nice horses today.
Yeah, we might have to get the stretch limo out there if he's on a roll today with all the possibilities that he has. It's a very competitive card. The only other horse that I thought was interesting was the 5 Atomic Blonde. Don't forget this horse raced up at Woodbine in one of their big races, the E.P. Taylor Turf Race, which was a grade 1. Last time out at Churchill Downs, the horse was 26 lengths down and won by half a length. You cannot be that far back today, as Stan mentioned. Even though it's a 6-horse field, this is going to be a game of chess for the jockeys, because with a short field, who's going to be in what positions early on or trying to close in late? But the winner's circle goes to the Breeders' Cup nominated War Like Goddess.
All right, how about we've got to talk about the 8 real quick. I don't pick the 8 anywhere for Vergara. But Graham Motion's the hottest trainer in the country right now. He just won a grade 1 up in New York the other day. He's red hot right here at Belmont, at Delaware, with Jorge Riaz aboard. He's winning races in Maryland. The Motion barn's red hot. That said, Vergara has been beaten the last couple times by Atomic Blonde and Chop Shop.
Yeah, this horse is going to be on the front end, and it's really going to have to slow down the pace. Usually trips the beam about 49 or 50 seconds going 12 furlongs. We're at 1 mile and 3/8 today. And of course, this particular horse, and of course, we got to appreciate Graham Motion. I don't know him personally, but Stan, I always see him here. And when we have big races, it's nice to see the trainers come to the track, unlike other trainers that don't come. And Vergara is the speed. He's going to have the target on his back, and for only 17 starts, already has 4 wins and $1.2 million in the bank. But this is the caveat. This horse is making its first start here at Delaware on the turf, which is rated firm.
All right, so grade 3 going long on the turf there in race 8. Let's turn the page. The big feature of the entire meet, the historic running of the grade 2 Delaware Handicap, a grade 2 500,000 filly mares 3 and up. We're going 1 mile and 3/16. Your morning line favorites, the 6 Wet Paint at 3-2. Brad Cox trying to win back-to-back Delaware handicaps. Of course, he won it last year with Idiomatic. Morning Matcha was 3rd in this race last year. She's back in there. Honor D Lady is a recent grade 3 winner. So let's talk about the field here in the Del Cap. We have 1 scratch, take out the 7, Intrepid Dream. Gary Capuano's got another nice mare in there. The 1 Malibu Beauty, and reading Chris Sobocinski's press releases. Chris has sent out a bunch of great press releases this whole week, and Gary Cap's been eyeing this race for a long time. And here's Morning Matcha, a big win a couple starts ago in the Unique Bella at Parks that was coming off the layoff. Throw out the last race of Morning Matcha. She didn't break very well. She was blocked the whole way. Butch Reed's not worried about that last race. He thinks this mare is very sharp right now. She had a long winter break. That was a sharp win you just saw there in the Unique Bella. Mike Sanchez rides for Butch Reed today. 3rd in this race last year. Can she get a little closer this year, Morning Matcha?
You know, this was my pick last year, and of course they ran into a monster in Idiomatic, who just went on to do good things. As Stan alluded to, 6 Wet Paint is the morning line favorite, my pick in here. I think Morning Matcha, in terms of you're a speed figure player like I am, I don't put a ton of stock into him, but of course I want to know who's the fastest horse in the race. I think the horse needs to sit closer because I don't think there's a ton of pace. I think the pace goes between Malibu Beauty and Honor D Lady. I think the horse needs to improve ever so slightly, Stan, to beat Wet Paint, who was in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, was in the Alabama as the favorite, the Coaching Club American Oaks, if I said it right, and the Kentucky Oaks. Morning Matcha, right there in my top 4, but I still like Wet Paint in here with Flavian Pratt.
Well, let's talk about her. She's a Godolphin homebred for Brad Cox, by Blame, of course, who beat Zenyatta. She's a grade 1 winner last year as a 3-year-old. Now, she came off the long winter break. She's run 2 races this year as a 4-year-old. She got beaten a grade 3 last out. The question is she as good this year as a 4-year-old as she was last year? Of course, a Grade 1 winner last year. Can she duplicate that this year and maybe be even better? Brad Cox probably trying to follow the same pattern that he followed with Idiomatic last year.
Yeah, and that's why two brains are better than one when you handicap, because I never even thought of that angle, and Stan's right. As a 3-year-old, the horse has the better speed figures. The last couple of starts was in the Apple Blossom and the Shawnee. I will say, even though the horse lost its last 2 races, the winners out of those races came back to win their next start, so it's a big key race angle. The horse has to improve. I'm not in love with a key in terms of my pick 5. That's why I kind of spread in this race. But Wet Paint, if the horse gets back into form, we're forgiving the last race for Morning Matcha. And what about the 2-horse stand, Honor D Lady? This is another one with a ton of back class in its corner.
Yeah, sure. Stumbled badly at the start, last out in the Lady Secret, but overcame that to finish a good second, 93 buyer. She won the Grade 3 Royal Delta 3 starts ago. Jose Ortiz rides for Safi Joseph Jr., so she'll be a formidable challenger. She'll be able to save ground. She likes to lay close, stalk off the early pace, so she'll be right there. I use her in my picks. How about my top pick here? I go with the longest shot in the field, the 8, Abundanzia. I know you'll say the name better than I do, but she was bred in Kentucky by Katie Rich Farms, by California Chrome, the Kentucky Derby, and Preakness winner. Julio Hernandez rides. Ari Barn hitting at 34%. Look, this filly won going 1.5 miles last year as a 3-year-old in Peru against great Group 2 company down there. She was also third going 1.25 miles on the dirt in Peru. She's gone 1.25 miles on the turf before, so she's seasoned at this distance. She can get this distance. Her last race down at Gulfstream late April, that was the big race. She got an 89 buyer speed figure. She was second to a freak down there. Best Dream's been running 95 buyer speed figures down there. That horse would be one of the favorites maybe in this race. And Abundanzia was a good second. I think this 4-year-old filly might be a nice filly rounding into form. She's stepping up in the deep water today. But you have a hot jockey, a hot local trainer. She's gone this distance before, so I'll take a shot with the biggest price in the field.
And you know what? This is the kind of day to do that, because we have seen some very good prices on big days like today and like tomorrow. Beth's Dream came back to win its next race, and Stan, the horse he likes here, with 7 wide in the lane and 5 wide around the turn. If the horse can save some ground in a 7-horse field, Julio Hernandez is winning at 19%. The horse is going to improve. I put this horse perhaps as a superfecta threat, but again, in this kind of race, if there's a little bit of speed and this horse continues to improve, I can see the 8 absolutely sprinkled in there, and the horse is going to be flying home late as the 4, Queen of Missoula. I think if Wet Paint shows up today, it's going to be hard to beat. If Wet Paint kind of, I don't want to say struggles, but just doesn't run its sharp race, this could be 5 across the track in the final 200 yards.
All right, so both Josh and I go 5 deep in the big Del Cap, looking for some good coverage in the feature. Let's take a look at the 10th and final race today. Hope you're live in some late pick 5s going into race 10. We're going 6 furlongs, maiden 62.50 for 3 and up. You're 2-1 favored. The 4 Big Tone C with the 7-pound apprentice at Derek Robles back in the saddle today. Big Tone C beaten favorite against maiden 12-5 last out. Now this 3-year-old drops into the maiden 62.50. The Nesville Hernan Balon barn's been having a quiet, solid meet. They've won 3 races. I think with the weight off today, the 4 Big Tone C is going to be tough. I put that horse on top, but I also used the 6 Stormcat Eyes on my late pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, the 6 horse in here, last time out, the horse lost the rider at the start and was 2-1 that particular day against 7 other horses in here. Jamie Rodriguez goes aboard while Eric Robles goes on the 4 Big Tone C. Honestly, those are the 2. I thought the 3 horse, the horse with no name, the rider hasn't won this particular year, but the horse does show speed, is coming from Gulfstream Park. I think personally, Stan, it's between 3, 4, and 6 all day long, but I would team up with his 4 and my 6 in a good exacta box.
All right, so I hope you're live in your late pick 5 going into race 10. Big 10 race card for you today. Main track is perfect and fast. The turf is firm. We haven't had any rain in a couple days, so it's a nice firm turf course. Good luck to you today. I know you have a bunch of great calls up there. Hopefully the AC is working well up there in the announcer's booth.
Well, it's funny, here at Delaware Park, when the races are about to start, I cannot have the AC on, and therefore I lose about 2 or 3 pounds on a day like this when everything is said and done. And of course, Stan, we are going to be right in this chair tomorrow because of the special card from Saturday, which was postponed because of the heat index, and the Delaware big card as well is tomorrow with another 10 races at 12:30.
And the big feature, of course, for the 3-year-old fillies tomorrow, Judd Mott Farm and Billy Mott's in there with Side of Mars. Hope you can join us tomorrow. Good luck today. We're fast and firm. That's it. Thanks to the whole production crew for putting together a great show. Chris Sobosinski for all the press releases. The racing office, great job on putting together this weekend's card. Good luck to you, everybody. Josh will be back next with all of today's scratches and changes for you.